What's going on, guys? It's Hajimoto, and today I'd like to talk to you about the Kral Puncher Breaker in .22 caliber. Hey guys, I just wanted to take a second to try to talk about the configuration of rifles between bullpup and conventional style rifles. This is what I grew up shooting, this kind of configuration, so I'm predisposed that when I think of a rifle, this is what I think of. Not that this is any more efficient or accurate than a bullpup design, but bullpups take the barrel and shift everything back, making everything shorter. The bullpup designs I fell in love with when I got my first bullpup, which was the Hatsan Bull Ball. That's this guy here. Fell in love with this thing. Loved it. All of the weight's towards the rear. The cocking and loading is back here. Makes it very, very nice and short. Very good for when you're in barns or if you're pesting and you just don't want to have that long barrel hitting things. The only problem with Hatsans is they're pretty heavy. So I wanted something lighter, and especially after my Gladius. And I'm bringing the Gladius Long in here just for illustration. The Gladius Long, very heavy rifle. Once there's a scope on this thing and you've got 3 magazines full of lead here plus one that's in it, this thing gets pretty heavy. The reason that the cheek piece is missing from this is because I want to talk about that a little bit. With bullpups, it was hard for me to get used to, is when they put all of the shrouding piece on, my cheek seemed like it was so high that I had to bring that scope up very, very high off the rifle. And that higher or distance between the center of the barrel and the center of the scope, I'm not used to huge distances between the two. I like to keep them as close as I can so that when I'm doing long range shooting, there's minimal issue for me to have downrange problems. Not that it can't be overcome. It can be. With the proper calculations, you can pretty much figure out everything using the mil dots and so forth. But I just wanted to show you that on this one I had to take it off to get it. Now let's talk a little bit about the Kral Puncher Breaker. This guy here, .22 caliber, Puncher Breaker, synthetic stock. You may have noticed that most of mine are synthetic. And the reason they are is because I just can't fathom bringing a nice, beautiful wood rifle into a barn or out in the woods and have something gouge that. I'd be heartbroken. That's why something like a Crown or any of the laminate stocks to me, they're beautiful to look at, but I would hate to bring them in the field. I'd be so worried that I'm going to damage them. So that's why most of my stuff is synthetic. On the Kral appealed to me because this thing's 7.5 pounds out of the box. Very light. We've got the small design. The barrel length is 21. The overall length is 29. The unit itself comes with 2 rotary magazines, 12 shots each. They give you 2 of these. There's a little storage compartment in the front that allows you to put one of the mags right here, carry it on board, and there's a little space behind that, a little cavity in there that you could probably do something with if you were creative, carry a little bit more than just that one mag. The rifle itself is a manual safety back here, cocks towards the rear. We have a power adjuster right here, 2-stage adjustable trigger. 2900 is what they recommend on the fill, but I wanted this to be looked at and tuned by Troy Hammer. So this is a Troy Hammer tune. And I asked Troy to give me as much information as he could that wasn't proprietary and not divulging any of the processes that he takes to make these things do what they need to do, but just an overview so I could understand what he did to this thing. First and foremost, the cocking lever has been changed. Jefferson State air rifles, this is their cocking lever, much stronger. The Kral was having an issue with these failing back here. Huge issue was the Kral valve stem. The valve stem just wasn't hard enough, so they were failing left and right. What Troy Hammer does is takes S7 drill steel, sends it out, has it hardened, and it ends up like, I think it's Rockwell 55 when he gets it back. I mean, you can use that as a center punch. That's what the valve in this is made from, the dead blow valve system. He puts a slingshot hammer system in it, opens the ports, polishes the hammer, polishes the tube, increases the transfer ports, tunes it, makes the rifle much more powerful and much more efficient. His fill is 3,200 pounds, and we bring it down to 18. We get 60 shots through that string at 32 foot-pounds through the whole string. I asked Troy if he could get me another power adjuster that he increased. If you look on this side, you can see the adjustments there for power. I asked him if he could provide me with, for an extra fee, one that was bigger, so if I wanted to swap that out for more, I could get even more foot-pounds out of it. The rifle itself took some getting used to. I'm not used to having the safety so far back. So when I'm sighted in and I'm ready to go, and I'm on the trigger up here with my right hand, and I'm in a configuration like this, for me to reach back here to take off the safety is a bit unnatural. Also, to come back here to cock is a bit unnatural for me. That I think I can get used to. I don't know if I missed anything on this other than the ordinary, which most reviews would tell you about. This rifle, I'm going to shoot it at 50, 60, 70, 80 yards today. We're in a heat wave right now on the East Coast. Right now, it's probably 100 degrees out here. So I'm going to get set up. We're going to start taking some shots down range, and I'll show you what she can do.
I want to explain the shooting arrangement here just so you understand. While I wanted to go to 80, 90, and 100 yards, the area was too wet out there for me to get that done, so I'll be shooting from 40, 50, and 70 yards. I'll be shooting JSB 15.89s and 18.13 grain pellets, and you will see 5 shots or more per target. Now what I do in this last shot is aim at the 2-inch target above the main target, just as a sanity check to make sure the rifle is hitting where I'm aiming, eliminating any possibility of shooter error. And that final shot is in keeping with all the other 70-yard shots, slightly high and off to the right. I don't know about you, but I'd be confident drilling anything at 70 yards with an 18 grain pellet through this rifle. I'm impressed. And while I'm talking about the final thoughts on this rifle, in the lower left-hand corner will be the shot string that Troy Hammer performed on this rifle, so that you have that while I'm talking through this. Pros and cons. There's definitely pros. The pros are what Troy Hammer from Annihilator Airguns did to this rifle. He installed his dead blow valve system, the slingshot hammer system, the upgraded cocking lever, the trigger sear was upgraded. He put in his quiet kit, and this thing gets 60 shots per fill using 18.13 grain JSBs, producing 32 foot-pounds of energy, as you see on the left as that's going through. Those are pros because what Troy did was fixed all of the pitfalls of this rifle. The things that this thing did bad, or the things that it didn't do as well as it should, have been corrected. The only thing that I can say negative about this rifle, and that's more of an acclimation thing, is me getting used to everything being so far back on the rifle as compared to the Gladius or the Bull Boss, for instance, or even the FX Impact. They're all bullpup designs, but the cocking lever is more forward on those than it is on this Kral, so it's further back and it just feels unnatural. But I think the more I shoot it, the more I will acclimate to it. If that's a minus, it's going to be that, and also the safety being so far back as well. That's pretty much it. I have the utmost confidence in hunting with this rifle, or even target shooting with confidence at any target of 1.5 inches out to 80 yards, knowing that I will hit it. That says a lot about the rifle. In the description section below, I'll have links to Troy Hammer of Annihilator Airguns. And also, I just want to make sure that it's clear. Every rifle that I have paid for. Nothing has been given to me. Nothing is free. I've bought all of these. These reviews are my opinions of these products and putting them through their paces and sharing it with you. These are not paid endorsements. I want to make sure that that's clear. I thank you for hanging in, waiting for this review. You guys take it easy, and I look forward to your comments.